Greetings. Welcome to practice today, Pranayama. We're going to take just a little bit of a brief chest opener to start before we get into some real autumn foundational practices. So bring your block to its low profile and just ease the shoulder blades down over the brick. So I like to have the base of the blade more or less lined up with the end of the block furthest from the neck. And then once I've got the head down on the ground, I then just press into the feet. So I feel the brick draw the skin of the shoulder blades down the back a little. And that just gives a kind of an extra opening to base of neck. Drop your arms out to the sides, have your palms up. Let's really enjoy that opening through the front of the chest. You can have your knees bent, soles of the feet to the floor. That's nice if you've got a little bit lower back going on. Otherwise, variate your leg position to suit. Wherever you are in the legs, just let the whole sacrum be heavy and see if you can feel the point where the thigh bones come up and intersect with the pelvic halves, and see if you can allow that area to be soft. You can readjust as many times as you like, especially drawing the skin of the shoulder blades down. And there's also option to take the arms overhead, which can feel quite nice. Kind of accelerate slightly the opening of the chest. Just taking last few breaths, whichever position you're in. And if your arms are overhead, let's come right on and lower them down. Adjust the legs till the soles of the feet are on the floor and the knees are on the ceiling. And bring the chin to the chest. Use your arms, especially your elbows, to bring you up. Cross the legs over. Come through to all fours, and we're going to shift through into a child's pose position. So let's come to a classic child's pose. You might want to reach and grab your brick. Knees at hip distance apart. Pussy boy, not a good time, darling. And just drop your forehead down onto the brick. So you might find that it's fine that your forehead really easily reaches the mat. Mine always takes a little bit of time in the mornings, and I use the brick to fill up that space as the back opens. If you can, if you don't need to hold the brick, arms down by the side of the body, palms facing up. And focus on where you can feel the breath moving against the ribs and into the thighs. And then from that space where the breath comes up against the resistance of the thighs or the boundary of the thighs, can you spread the breath out to the sides? See if you can focus just around the diaphragm zone, so right at that mid-back area. Nice long breaths. Try to soften. And then after a round or two, move the breath focus down in towards the lower back, in towards the flare of the bones and the nervous system that extends below the ribs and above the sacral arch. So getting nice broad breaths right into that lower back space. Lengthening, lengthening. And from here, just very slowly roll yourself all the way up to kneeling. Let's shift the brick out of the way for now. Cross the ankles over and bring them out in front. And let's go right on ahead and bend the knees so that the heels of the feet are, maybe between 30 and 50 centimeters away from the heels. So they're not super close. You can easily hold soles of feet down. Bring your hands behind you. Turn your fingers back to face the wall behind you and just prop yourself up. Lift the chest. Let's just start with the right knee. So slowly let the right knee drop out to the right. Don't let the left knee move until the last minute, and then drop the inside of the left knee down and the outside of the right knee. And then start by moving the left knee and just kind of let it switch. Let the inner legs get as wide as they can, and then drop it down on the opposite side. And then just moving and creeping on the mat, side to side slowly. Let there be a little bit of torsion in the chest. So focus that torsion right around the diaphragm area. It's almost as if you want to keep the shoulders level to the top of the mat, but let everything from the base of the ribs down get involved in this pivot. All right. Next time, the right outer knee is down and the left inner knee is down, we'll hold that one. Bring yourself up to a seated position and lift the right heel so that the right shin bone becomes parallel to the top of the mat. Then with the back knee, just move the lower leg out away from the body until it's at a 90-degree angle at the back of the knee. So you've almost got a little bit of like a half swastika in the sun symbol form of the shape, obviously. All right, lift the chest. Now you'll immediately start to feel something happening in the rear left hip. Standing foot through both legs protects the knees. Now let's slowly drop the chest a few degrees down and forward over that right knee. Try to line your sternum up with the knee. Inhale, come back up. We're just going to go up and down a few times. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up. Keep moving in and out of the pose. Try this, though. Try to engage the muscle of the right outer hip. Now, if that's not happening through your intention to do so, try this. Just bring your left hand to the sole of the right foot and push the foot and the hand into one another. Now, at some point, you'll feel ready, potentially, to hold the pose. So once you get to that place, maybe drop the hands down or the forearms down. Actually, if your brick isn't too far away, you can always bring the forearms to the brick. Either way, we want to get the sternum more or less over the knee. So when you do that, you round or you wrap the left ribs down towards the floor, and we're getting nice and deep into that large intestine channel in the outer right hip here. Nice deep breaths. Try to relax the hip. And when we come to the work of autumn, we're really working on that space of rebalancing, just like the equinox, we're rebalancing the body. So these places that have become tight are asked to release. They're asked to yield. See if you can just let the hips be heavy as you breathe and hold another few more breaths. Relax the hips, relax the lower back. Inhale, press yourself back up, keep the shape of the legs. Now bring your attention to the back foot. Bring your attention to this left lower leg. We're going to just try and lift that off the ground. So the knee stays down, but the lower leg lifts and lower it down. Now, if it's difficult, you bring the chest forward a few degrees, and usually that makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so let's try. We're going to do 10 of these. So 1, 2, you'll feel that thigh bone moving inside the hip socket. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is very specific work. 10. All right. Bring the chest up if you dropped it forward a little. Let's rotate the legs to the other side. So nice and slow, let the left leg go. Just trying to get as wide as you can at the inner groin and rotate the body around. So now left leg leads. Take a minute to find that 90 degree through the back of both knees. Having that right knee coming straight out from the right hip, and the left knee forward of the left hip. Standing feet. Turn the chest slightly so that the sternum angles and lines up with the left kneecap, and then just take it down. Inhale up, so not holding here, just moving into a little bit of fluid into that left hip joint now. When you feel ready, after a round or two, I'm going to hold it down. So remember, you can always use the brick. So while we work on trying to find a place of yield here, it doesn't always happen quickly. So a few breaths is often needed, especially in the big joints of the hips where we really do hold a lot of tension. And we hold tension because we are much more inert than we used to be. But we also often hold tension in these places because they are emotionally charged. So deep breaths brings you to a place where it feels natural to focus on the exhalation. So just move with that. All the while, allowing that left outer hip to get heavier and heavier on the floor, the lower back. The right ribs, because of the twist, a slight twist to bring sternum to kneecap, the right ribs are wrapping around and offering a little bit more opening through the mid-back. Relax the shoulders, relax the face, just allow, like the tree does, the tension to draw away, to fall away. Just let it melt. Good. Inhale. Coming up. Making the body upright. Let's see how that same lifting action works on the lower part of the right leg. So just right knee stays down. You lift the lower leg off the floor. Bring it down. So remember, as I said, it's easier if you come forward. Yeah, but you'll try to work your way eventually to being able to do this upright. All right, we're going to do 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feel it right up in the hip socket here. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Coming back to the center, lift the torso. If you dropped it, slowly rotate the legs back and bring soles of the feet together, knees wide for a moment. So we want to just get a sense of the balance through both sides of the hips with this pose. So hold the feet, the shins, the knees, whatever you feel can assist you to lift the chest, and just let everything balance out for a moment. Squeeze the feet together. So we're not passive or letting go in this pose, but let's activate it. Squeeze the feet in and feel both outer hips firing up. Good. From here, lean back into the hands and plant the feet. We're preparing for squat pose malasana here. So you might want to pause to bring a brick in underneath you. Just adjust yourself up into the pose. Good. Inhale. And from here, power down through the legs with an exhale. Turn the heels out. Drop the forehead down into a nice bent knee version of the forward fold. And then a little bit wider in the feet too. Let's inhale, half lift. And exhale, swing the heels in, sink the buttock back down again. Just adjust the feet as you go. Good. Take a breath here, right down in the belly of the seat, and exhale, power through the legs to get yourself back up again. Return the heels out, bend the knees a little, drop the head down. Nice forward fold. Just one more. Inhale, half lift. Swing the heels in, adjust where needed, and slowly lower the body down. Malasana. Deep breath here, inhale. And on exhale, power through the legs. So use the thighs, coming back into that forward fold position. Nice work. Inhale, half lift the chest. Now, wherever you need to kind of orientate yourself, we'll come to downward dog. So I've just got to spin myself around to the right and step my feet back. So just wherever you are to get yourself into downward dog, reset. And take as much time as you need to lengthen out through the back lines of the legs, to elongate the spine here. Have your index fingers facing forward. Feel that thumb and first finger down into the floor, the lung, the large intestine channels anchoring down. Then as you do that, counter work by lifting the inner arms and feel the side walls of the neck release with that. As you inhale, come forward into a plank position. Hold the pose and hump up in between the shoulder blades. And then as you keep the toes tucked, as you exhale, drop the hips down behind the wrists into an upward dog position. Now, if the back is tight, toes are tucked, the back is tight, widen the legs. Squeeze the buttock and open the chest. Inner upper arms roll back. Good. Lift the hips, come back to downward dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slowly come back into that toe tucked upward dog. It's an exhale. Inhale, swing the hips back up. Okay, exhale, come through into that upward dog, but breathe out through the mouth. Ha. Inhale, come back up. Let's speed it up a little. Ha. 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 Try and clear it right from the belly. Ha. Ha. 5 more. Ha. Downward dog. Readjust. They're called the great eliminator. Might feel there's a little bit of energy swirling around the head, the throat, the lungs. Nice. Let's drop the knees to the floor. Sink the chest down between the thumbs. Point the toes around the tail. Bhujangasana on inhale. Nice and easy. Keep the hands light. So make sure you're using the muscles of the back. Wrap the pubic bone towards the navel. Lengthen the lower back. Just breathe. If you want to go a little further with it, raise the legs. Nice, strong breath. Even, steady, smooth, calm. Inhale. Exhale, lower the legs. Lift the chest. A little bit more effort in the Bhujangasana. And then press the buttocks all the way back to the heels. Slide the hands back behind you and interlace the fingers at the sacrum, or use a strap here. Straighten the arms. Breathing in. Breathing out. Tuck the chin. Lift the hips off the heels. Roll over the crown and take the arms over with you. Inhale, coming back. Roll up. Interlace the hands above the head. Invert the palms. Exhale, stretch the waist long. Few breaths. Inhale. Exhale, lower the hands down. This time, reverse the interlace. Lift the chest on inhale. And let's take it down. Exhaling, tuck the chin. Lift the buttock off the heel. Take the arms over. We're opening into these lung channels. Right at the front of the shoulders here. Slowly lower down. So we're clearing the whole of the channel as you inhale, come up. Reverse your interlace. And as you exhale, extend the arms. Good. Let's lower the arms down. So we've spent some time working into the large intestine in the base of the body, just activating the downflow and the surrender point of that. So that keeps the impurities moving out of the body. We've worked to open and create space around the lung points at the front of the body, the shoulders in general, that feeds through into the lungs, brightens and strengthens the lung energy so that what we take in, that action of taking in, becomes more discerning and stronger. Our capacity to move through what is complete becomes stronger. So now let's activate the whole of the vitality of the body with a pounding lung sequence. So this is going to lift the energy as a whole now that we've got the energetic movement prints in place. So kneeling is a great place to do this because we're going to drop forward in the sequence. But if kneeling's difficult, do one of two things. Get up on a brick and relieve the ankles and lower legs, or sit easy cross or in another position. Even a chair can work for this. We've got some breath holds coming up in this sequence. So do your best. If I hold you too long, I want you to let the breath go. If I don't hold you long enough, the invitation is for you to work a little longer with it. So drop the hands out to the sides of the body.
From whatever seated position you're in, bring the pubic bone a little to the navel, drop the front ribs down. So you flare the back of the diaphragm and the kidneys just a little bit. As you breathe in, sweep the arms up. Nice, big, deep inhale. We're going to just do a couple of these. Exhale, lower down. Puff it out. Turn the hands over. Inhale, sweep it up. Hold it just for a moment, looking up. Exhale, take it down. Puff the breath out. Okay, this breath will hold. Inhale, let's come up. Hold the breath. Make fists with the thumbs on the inside and start pounding over the area under the collarbones, both sides of the body. Breath is held. To the sternum. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, come forward through the mouth. Up it out. Hold it out, come up to sitting. Your time, soft belly, breathe in. It's all your time. Couple of rounds, natural breath. So if you can hold a little longer, that exhalation, that forced exhalation, you stay. Soft, easy breath. When you're done, feel what we've opened up around the upper portion of the lungs. You might be starting to feel the brightness, the purity, the clarifying energy of the lungs starting to rise, starting to be stimulated. Lung energy is like our border patrol, boosting the very edges of our immunity. All right, we're going to do a second set and just really focus now on the base of the lungs. Drop the hands out to the sides once again. Front ribs down, pubic bone lifts. Center and balance the body. All right, nice deep breath here. Inhale, slow, lower, middle, upper. Raise the arms. We're going to do a couple of these. Hold, reach. Exhale, lower down. Now find that little clearing at the end of the breath. So puff it out. Lift the pelvic floor. Drop the chin slightly. Let's go again. Inhale. Let's refine this. Lift. Exhale. Puff the breath out. Hold it out. Lift the pelvic floor. All right, we're going to hold this next breath. Inhale. All right. Squeeze the sitting bones together. Lift the pelvic floor. Make fists with the hands, thumbs on the inside. Start pounding around the lower ribs, both sides. Up into the sternum. I really want this to be your time. So as you feel ready, we'll exhale through the mouth, come forward. Puff it out. Come to sitting, hold it out. 2 locks. Your time. Soft belly, breathe in. And just natural breath. Try turning the palms up in the lap so that you feel a little bit that external rotating nature of the upper arms that clears chest even further. Focus your breath right around the diaphragm, right around the very base of the sternum in a beautiful circumference. Feel the breath at the back of the body, particularly at that thoracolumbar junction. But also notice what's coming alive inside the body from an energetic sense. So notice that there's a clear, pure quality in the lungs. To me, it feels like those beautiful, thin, wispy white clouds. Heavenly chi. Let the lungs relax as they take it in. Let the lungs relax as they let it go. No force. And we'll do one more round. This time, either feel free to work over the whole of the chest, so a little bit up the top, a little bit at the bottom, or if you felt like there was a particular area that needed more effort, might want to work upper, might want to work more isolated in the lower. So whatever you feel like you need more medicinally. So again, we'll raise the arms 3 times to just really deepen the breath here. And then we'll get out of this kneeling position. All right, puff the breath out. Inhale. Let's raise the arms up. Nice slow inhale. Hold the breath at the top and feel what it's like to bring the sitting bones together underneath the pose. Exhale, lower down. And puff the breath out. And again, feel what it's like to sit in that empty void. Again, inhale. Exhale. Puff it out. We're going to hold this one. Inhale, last one. Reaching up. Make fists with the hands, thumbs on the inside. Let's get to work. Feel where it's a little tender. That's where you want to go. Be quite vigorous here. Five, 4, 3, 2. When you're ready, exhale through the mouth, come forward. Let it all go, puff it out. Come to sitting, no breath. Your time, soften the belly, breathe in. Natural breath, just sitting. Now let that lung energy move out to the edges of your skin. Let it move out into the field around you so that you start to feel yourself wrapped in these beautiful wispy white clouds. Let them expand out from you where they might start to become more banded in nature. Just notice the way they shift and change. Notice any movement. Are they spinning around you in a clockwise or anti-clockwise direction? Are they rising or falling? Just sit within the purity of that heavenly chi and how you bring it into the body, how you radiate it out through the skin. How the exhalation gently, it's percussive, it expands you, it contracts you like a slowed down ocean wave. I'm going to transition, but I want you to try to not disturb this interior space too much. We'll just come to downward dog and give you a chance to stretch out the back of the legs. So maybe keeping your eyes closed or just allowing yourself to stay within the practice, even though the body is moving around. Walk the hands backwards towards the feet, just gently hanging. Feel free to swing a little side to side, just letting everything kind of go. That was a long time kneeling. And then walk the hands back out again into that downward dog. And drop the knees to the floor. Let's gather whatever we need for seated practice now. A little bit more as we usually do. I'm pleased to say it's a little cool, so feel free to grab a blanket. So that work was very stimulating in nature. You feel that there's an aliveness initiated in the body. The season of autumn is all about striking the balance. So let's now work a nice sedating Viloma pranayama to just bring the body right back down. So gently, gently as you go, just begin some ujjayi breaths. So just start that act of gentle gripping at the back of the throat. It's just like you're making the ha sound or kind of curling your throat around a whisper. It's exactly the same shape, and it just generates a field of sound through the throat. It's soft, it's personal. And after time, it becomes deeply comforting. I lift the pubic bone to the navel, so just a little, just a millimeter, just so you strike the sitting bones with intention into the floor on their middle edge. Just gather the front ribs and draw them down a little towards the navel. You don't want to overdo it and create a hump in the back, but you want to just tension that as if you were just bringing a little bit of tension to the sails on a boat, and you just wanted to tether it down without putting too much strain on the ropes or the mast or the sail itself. As you breathe, feel that exact same sensation of the breath wrapping to the back of the body. And then gently begin to extend the inhalation, the exhalation. Let's start working towards a count of 8 or a count of 10 as you really narrow off the throat and just start to draw that beautiful stream in. And I want to hold back from saying the word thin because that implies something that's quite weak. See if you can feel the strength of the breath as you flatten it out, as you concentrate it. Just in the same way that we adjust the dial on the hose, and the more we thin that stream of water, the further across the garden it reaches. So it's the same principle here. Start to add that little puff out at the end of the exhalation. Perhaps a moment of hover in the empty space, feeling the pelvic floor naturally lift and hold with that puff out of breath. We're going to begin the Viloma Pranayama on the exhalation of breath, just when you're ready. And we're going to work with just 3 interruptions only today. So inhale slowly, just when you're ready, count of 8 or 10. Hold the breath, count of 4 or 5, just half of your inhale, we hold the breath. And then 3 interruptions on exhale. And we're going to really slow these down. So it's exhale, pause, just sitting with that, few counts, exhale, pause again, sitting with that, a few counts, exhale completely, puff the breath out. Feel 2 locks very naturally fall into place. Chin dropping to that Jalandhara Bandha space, pelvic floor lifting up. We deeply and profoundly contain the breath. Couple of counts, 2, 3 heartbeats maybe. Then slow, steady inhale using your ujjayi. So we're just doing the Viloma on the exhalation, but we're adding some retentions and we're extending those retentions today. The first pause happens at the level of the heart. Second pause happens at the level of the diaphragm. Final pause happens at the pelvic diaphragm. And start to really feel these 3 energy centers. If you feel like you're having to suck that exhalation in and inhalation in, and the inhalation feels a little bit desperate at the beginning, maybe try puffing out a little bit less air, or alternately reducing the length of the external or empty breath hold kumbhaka. So just adjust how you work with that final phase of the 3 so that the inhalation is calm, steady, unhurried. This is balance. Can you slow it down even more? And start to imagine as you come to each pause at the heart, between the diaphragm and the solar plexus, down on the pelvic floor, that each time you hit and hover in that hold, that a band of energy or a disc of energy comes out from that energy center all the way around you, 360 degrees. And it might be that it's those bright banded clouds of heavenly chi that you saw earlier. It might be that that light refines even further and becomes more like a ray or a flame. But just allow it to take its own form today. Notice any color that it might be appearing. We don't necessarily have to adhere to the traditional color schemes, as the rays of the body have really evolved in the last 5 years or so. And we're starting to get a different color spectrum. Heart light sometimes showing up as a beautiful emerald green, sometimes a gold, sometimes a soft pink. That solar plexus or that diaphragm space, traditionally yellow, but sometimes appearing more of a rainbow color or more of the variations on the gold or something else completely. And the base at the final hold, traditionally red, but often revealing itself as a beautiful platinum gold. Let's just do 2 more rounds, nice and slow, no hurry. Please don't rush, but you'll finish on an exhale and then you'll just come to natural breath, just sitting. Please don't hurry. Plenty of time. And just notice in the wake that profound feeling of steadiness, of trust. Even a soft layer of optimism and hope. Let that wash through the body and be present as you stand at the balance point, the Wu Wei, if you will. Notice its resilience. Notice how thick the band feels. When we talk about the borders of the body, notice that you can sense them more alert, more upright. Thicker, more concentrated, allowing you to draw in, as is the direction of the season. In and down. Of course, the invitation is always such. You may wish to stay seated for a little longer or transition to a shavasana your own time, more classically. However, if you're needing to just stick to time today, let's very gently start to rub the palms of the hands together. Get a little heat. And bring the palms of the hands to cover the eyes and the cheeks. Looking from behind the eyelids at the shapes that are revealed. And very gently, just open your eyes behind closed hands. Bring the palms down to prayer over the heart, bow the head. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.